What's going on, everybody? It's Andrew, and welcome to another chapter of Andrew's Reviews in IMAX 3D. In case you're blind, we're going to be reviewing Avengers Endgame. So obviously you see in the title of this video that it is going to be a spoiler-free movie review. I think it's kind of stupid that I gotta do a spoiler-free movie review, because quite frankly, if you haven't seen Endgame yet, why the hell are you watching an Endgame movie review? That makes no sense to me, but whatever, I'm not here to judge, but you should take your ass to the movie theater and see it at some point this weekend before some asshole on social media ruins it for you, because you know someone's gonna do it. I did just hit my head on that lamp, but we're gonna move on. So there was this movie in 2018 called Avengers Infinity War. I don't know if you saw it, but at the end of the movie, half the Avengers got wiped the fuck out. Bye-bye, disintegrated, floated away like little booty flakes. They're dead. Everyone is in the theater crying and shit, and I'm just like, why the hell y'all crying? Why are you crying over Spider-Man and Black Panther? You didn't even know who the hell they were 2 years ago. Well, maybe Spider-Man, but not Black Panther. Stop acting like you really care about these people that you just met a few years ago. Come on now. Anywho. So, the OGs from the original Avengers movies, they're still around, and they're ready to fight back. So they're coming up with a plan to stop Thanos and to bring everybody else back. They haven't thought of the plan yet, so it's taken them some time. Okoye, she went back to Wakanda. Black Widow and Captain America are chilling in the Avengers facility. Captain Marvel, she's like, well, I gotta go to other planets, guys, because, Earth has the Avengers. There's a whole galaxy out there of people who do not have the Avengers. So I need to go out there and I need to protect them. So I really, I respect Captain Marvel for that. She really wasn't in the movie that much, to be honest with you. She wasn't in it that much as the other characters. When she was in it, though, I'm going to tell you one thing about Captain Marvel. She was not scared. That girl was not scared of no motherfucking Titan. That's all I gotta say about her. Moving on. Shout out my boy Jeremy Renner, Hawkeye, because my boy put in so much work. He said, Oliver Queen who? I'm here, bitch. Yeah, I can go toe-to-toe with all you superpowered motherfuckers and all you intergalactic star, whatever the hell you are. I got this. Shout out to Jeremy Renner. He put in so much work in this movie. They had this one scene. I'm not going to get it. I can't spoil it, but it was kind of like a Kill Bill type of vibe. It was really cool. He had like a battle with a sword. I can't say why or how it happened, but I'm going to just say check out that part. When you see the movie, you'll know what I'm talking about. That gave me like Kill Bill vibes, and I really fucked with that. And oh my god. I don't know what about the mohawk and the arm sleeve tattoos, but Jeremy Renner was 10 times finer in this movie than he has ever been in his life. Oh my god, I was like, Hawkeye, yes. I will Hawkeye your ass, bitch. Alright, so moving on. Let's talk about Mr. Captain America, Chris Evans. Chris Evans is fine fucking ass. Speaking of his ass got shouted out in the damn movie. I was so happy they called it Captain America's ass the ass of America. Best part of the movie, because Chris Evans, y'all been sleeping on his ass for 20 years now. I remember 20 years ago, not another teen movie. If you haven't seen it, go check it out. He came out with the whipped cream on his titties, on his neck, his back, his pussy, and his crack. He looked so damn good, and he still looks so damn good. Shout out my boy Chris Evans. You are so fucking fine, and you've been killing it as Captain America for almost a decade now. Remember back in 2010 when they said, oh, Chris Evans is gonna play Captain America, and y'all were shook. Y'all were so shook. You had no faith in my boy. You had no faith in my boy. You said, boy, wait a minute. Didn't he play the Human Torch in the Fantastic Four movies? Yeah, he did, and guess what? And he played Captain America too. And he killed both, in my opinion. Shout out Chris Evans. But he was looking a little bit Slim Jim in this movie. I don't know what's going on, but he was looking like, I don't know, the side. Like, mind you, he's more buff than I am still, but he was looking very slim and slender. I'm not saying he still wasn't fine. He was still fine as fuck, but I'm just saying, I don't know what happened to all the muscle, because you remember, like, in the first Avengers, he comes out with the titties all puffed out, like, he was ripped as shit. I don't know. He on the keto diet or something. Speaking of Slim Jim, Robert Downey Jr. too. I don't know what the hell happened, what type of ghost of Christian Bale's past possess these two. But Robert Downey Jr. was super freaking skinny in this movie. Super skinny. Like, he's trying to win an Oscar or some shit. Speaking of Christian Bale, shout out my boy Christian Bale, because you know what? Let's be real. Let's be honest. Let's be real. If it wasn't for 2008's The Dark Knight, which raised the bar for superhero films, we wouldn't be here today. That movie raised the bar so high and said, you know what? Superhero movies are not just hokey. They can be good. They can be good quality movies. And if it wasn't for that raising the bar, we would not be here today with Endgame. Give Christian Bale the recognition he deserves. Because that bitch bulked up for Batman Returns. Batman Begins. Sorry about that. Lost all the weight for The Machinist. Lost half of his weight for The Machinist. And had to bulk back up for The Dark Knight. That is a dedicated actor. Moving on. I don't think this is really a spoiler, but Bruce Banner and the Hulk were kind of one and the same in this movie. Picture like in Naruto, when Kurama finally accepts Naruto as his Jinchuriki, and then they fucking come together and they're one with each other. That's kind of like what happened with the Hulk. Does that make any sense? You get what I'm saying? So like, yeah, he was like buff and green, but he was kind of like a pale green, but it was like Mark Ruffalo's face, and he was dressed and he had glasses on and he talked like Mark Ruffalo. You kind of get what I'm saying? But anyway, this was the first time in my life when I looked at the Hulk and I said, damn, the Hulk looks kind of fine. Like, Hulk smash, Hulk can smash. Please smash Hulk. And I do want to shout out the Hulk and Bruce Banner, Mark Ruffalo, because y'all made up for that piss poor fucking attempt in Infinity War when Hulk got his ass whooped in the first 10 seconds of Infinity War, and his ass, pussy ass, coward ass didn't show the fuck back up for the rest of the damn movie. He made up for it in this movie. Because I don't know what the fuck he was doing in Infinity War. That was one of my biggest critiques. You can watch my Infinity War review. It's somewhere on my YouTube channel. That was one of my biggest critiques. Was that you got your ass whooped, and he said no. He said no. He didn't want to come back to play. He came back to play in Endgame. Shout out my boy Hulk. Thor. Rocket was Rocket. Rocket Raccoon was Rocket Raccoon. That's all I can say about Rocket. My girl Nebula. Shout out me some Karen Gillan. Nebula was a bad bitch. I love Nebula even from the first Guardians of the Galaxy movie. But in this one, I don't know what type of Pilates shit she is on. She been doing her squats because she was looking thick. She was looking thick in the ass area. Girl, whatever you're doing, keep doing it. And I love the way Nebula would walk. Like the top half of herself, like her torso and shit, would it move? But her ass and legs would just like pivot. And I was like staring at her ass the whole time. I was like, damn, Nebula. She got a donkey. She got a donkey, got a donkey, got a donkey. Shout out my girl Nebula. Speaking of fine asses, Scarlett Johansson, you are still as beautiful as you've ever been. But I am so glad you got rid of that damn blonde hair in this movie. Can I just say I was sick and tired of the blonde hair, girl. When I think of Black Widow, I want long, red, flaming locks. And you've been slacking. And I said long, too. Not that little short bob bullshit you were doing for a few movies. I want long hair. The last time I saw you with the long hair was the Winter Soldier. Besides the Winter Soldier and Iron Man 2, I did not fuck with your hair, girl. But your hair was okay in this movie, so thank you for growing that shit the fuck out. Love me some Black Widow. Love me some Scarlett Johansson. She killed it, and she didn't, it wasn't any better or any worse than any of the other previous installments. She was bad as fuck.
Trust me, I do.
I don't think this is a spoiler, but obviously there's a part where Captain America and Iron Man finally get back together and they interact with each other. And, they're talking about, well, you got your ass whooped. And he's like, okay, well, you got your ass whooped too. We lost this, that, and the third. Where were you? Where were you? But in my mind, I was like, you guys haven't seen each other since Civil War. I kind of respected the fact that they didn't really harbor any grudges. They said, you know what? Thanos happened. Let's move the fuck on. It kind of makes Civil War even more redundant. Civil War didn't even need to happen. Let's talk about Mr. Ant-Man. I'm going to spoil something for you, and I'm sorry for doing it, but it has to be said. Ant-Man did not expand in Thanos' asshole. I'm sorry, y'all. I wanted it to happen too. It didn't happen. Whatever. Maybe men.com will make a gay porn parody starring fucking Johnny Rabbit as Ant-Man and Bruce Beckham as Thanos. Endgame. Call it Rear End Game. Men.com presents Rear End Game. I'm telling y'all, like, y'all better pay me for that. I can write that shit. I'm creative, y'all. I really should. I should write gay porn because I can come up with some good ideas. So men.com, if you're listening right now, you better, give me a call. We can work together. We can arrange something. I'll give you the rights to my ideas. Last but definitely not least, Mr. Thanos himself. Love me some Josh Brolin, but let me tell you something. In Endgame, this was the Thanos that I wanted to see in Infinity War. This was the Mad Titan that I wanted to see in Infinity War. I'm not saying he wasn't badass in the first minute or so of Infinity War when he fucked up Hulk and broke Loki's fucking neck. But that shit later in the movie when he was crying and shit for Gamora and when he killed her ass for the Soul Stone, I was over it. I was over it. This Thanos in this movie didn't give a fuck. He said, yeah, I killed half the people in the world. Guess what? I should have killed everybody. This was the Thanos that I wanted to see. This is the final boss that I wanted in the movie. So shout out my boy Thanos because he did not come to play games in this movie. No end games in this movie, bitch. So now that we're done talking about the characters and pretty much the synopsis of the movie, because I can't really get into anything that happened after what I said earlier, because quite frankly, the rest of the movie was a giant spoiler. Go see the movie, and then we can talk. Maybe in the future, I'll do a real Endgame review where I just talk about and spoil everything, maybe like in a month or so when everyone's seen it, so no one comes on my page and tries to kill me. One of my 50 viewers, one of you motherfuckers might be crazy and try to kill my ass. It ain't happening. Not today, Satan. Technical aspect of the movie. The acting was phenomenal. Robert Downey Jr., would I say Oscar worthy? Maybe not. I know some of y'all were talking about Oscar worthy. I wouldn't say all that. But he definitely gave the performance of his life in this movie. This movie was all the feels in the world. This movie was the tearjerker. Like, I teared up at so many parts. I found a heart that I didn't think I had watching Endgame. So the acting was phenomenal. Direction and storytelling. They fixed, in this movie, the common Marvel Cinematic Universe problem of being repetitive. The Marvel formula that we know so well now for the past 10 years, they finally stopped that shit and gave us a movie that was great as a movie. So thank you, Marvel, for doing that, because if this was the same exact type of movie, I would have shat on this. But it was a good movie. The makeup. Let me tell you, I know Disney likes to do that thing where they can change people's appearances and their faces to either make them older or younger. They can age change somebody. We've seen that before. We saw it with Princess Leia in Rogue One. We see that obviously with when they made Tony Stark look younger in Iron Man 3. They did that again in this movie. Did they really do this again? See, it was hard because there were some parts where I was like, is that CGI or is that makeup? I think this one part, you know what I'm talking about at the end of the movie. I'm not going to spoil it, but at the end of the movie, there's this one part. I think that was makeup and effects, and I think that was some of the best makeup I've ever seen in my life. If that was actual makeup and not CGI. Disney, y'all, you outdid yourselves. I can definitely see them winning at least a makeup, special effects, and makeup Oscars next year at the Academy Awards. I said it now, and we'll see in the future. Yeah, this movie, without overdoing it, it paid homage to the past 10 years of the Marvel movies, which I really liked. It wasn't like a giant, oh, let's just go through flashbacks and shit. It fit. It fit. And quite frankly, if this would have been the last movie, I would have died peacefully. I would be satisfied if this was the last movie. I know we got Spider-Man Far From Home coming out. That comes out later this year. So quite frankly, that movie, just even releasing its trailer is a giant spoiler because, put 2 and 2 together. It happens after Endgame. Okay, so in conclusion, the last thing I do want to say about Endgame yet again, it is another spoiler. Well, not really a spoiler. It's just me trying to save you some time. Don't sit through the end credits. There is nothing at the end. Somebody has to have told you by now, if they've seen the movie, don't sit your ass through the damn end credits. There's no end credit scene. There's a little sound effect that kind of like pays homage to the first Iron Man movie, but other than that, there is nothing to see. Don't sit your ass down while everyone else is sitting there waiting for something. Haul your ass out the theater before everybody else leaves. You're welcome. Alright, so the last thing I want to talk about is what's next? Besides Spider-Man Far From Home, what's next for the MCU? What are we going to see happen? Are the Fantastic Four and X-Men eventually going to show their asses up? Who knows? I know that they got the, besides Spider-Man and Shang-Chi, I don't know if I said that right. Shang-Chi is about to start Phase 4. Because Spider-Man Far From Home is still part of Phase 3. But other than that, they really don't have anything else in pre-production. I don't even think they've written anything yet. You know, they have to have some plan, but nothing has been announced yet. So we really kind of have to just, we're left in the dark right now of what's going to happen with the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Quite frankly, it could have ended and I'd be okay with it, but, we're always excited to see what happens next. I just feel like there's still plenty of stories in Marvel to tell. And they should really think about how they're going to go from here. They don't need to rush it. Marvel, Disney, you don't gotta prove shit. You've already proved your worth. Take your time. Take your time, baby. Take your time. And in the meantime, DCEU, in the meantime, you have your time to shine. Don't fuck up. Because DC already has like 6 different... We got Birds of Prey coming out. We got... what else? We got Wonder Woman 84. We have Aquaman 2's been announced. Suicide Squad 2's been announced. The Batman, even though Ben Affleck quit, the Batman is still in production. So DC, I feel like it is about to be their time to shine. Now, I am a mostly DC comic book reader, but I'm a fan of Marvel as well. As most of us should be. We love superheroes. And this is very important for me to tell y'all. For you Marvel fanboys, you know who the fuck you are. You know who the fuck you are. You can call me a DC fanboy all you want, but guess what? I spent my money on all the Marvel movies. We need to support superheroes. You guys need to stop all this bullshit talking about Marvel so much better than DC. The reason Marvel's so much better than DC is because you don't support DC. Yes, they've had some stinkers. Justice League, Batman vs. Superman, Suicide Squad was not that good, but guess what? The solo movies have been good. Did you see Shazam? It's sad that Shazam has only made so much money. It is the lowest grossing DCEU movie, and it's probably one of the best ones. I feel like us as fans need to support superheroes. Go out, go see these movies, support them. Because if not, the superhero movie genre is going to die soon, guys. So stop this feud bullshit. Stop it. Go see the DC movies. Give them some love when they come out. Don't sit there and be like, oh, well, it's not Marvel. Fuck DC. I'm not going to go spend the money. Avengers Endgame just made $300,000 on the first opening night. The same amount of money that Shazam's made in a few weeks. You guys have the money. You guys obviously have the time. You just don't want to waste your money on the DC movies because of some bitter fucking bullshit rivalry that doesn't even exist, that doesn't even need to exist. You can love both. You can love both. So please, I beg you, if any of you are watching, stop nitpicking, stop being a fucking bitch. Get that fucking whatever the fuck is in your ass, get it out, bitch, and go sit your ass and go see a DC fucking superhero movie. Thank you. So in conclusion, because this is an Endgame movie review, go see Endgame. Go see fucking Endgame. This is probably... What do I want to say? It's my favorite... You know what? I'm going to say it. It's my favorite Marvel movie. This movie was life. This movie was action. I'm not going to tell you about anything that happens, but there is a big action sequence towards the end, obviously. The big climax of the movie, which is it was like one of the best things I've ever seen in my life, to be honest with you. It was so much life. You thought Infinity War was life? This movie was life. It is very slow to build up to that point. I will give them that, I will say it does take a little bit to build up to that point, but it's worth it. You know how Infinity War was mostly action throughout the whole movie, which I don't mind, but it was kind of like too much action. It was like too much for you to handle because they were trying to give every single character their spotlight. This movie built it up to the point where when the conclusion happens, you were left speechless. Endgame was that movie. They delivered, and I am just so happy for Marvel at this point. It was literally the best movie so far of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. So go see Endgame now. Go see it soon before anybody spoils it for you, and go see it a second time. Because guess what? I want to see Endgame. I want to see them make it. You know they're gonna make $1 billion easily, but I want to see them get it. I want them to beat the first. I want them to beat Infinity War. I want them to beat Force Awakens. I want them to beat Titanic. I want them to beat Avatar. I want this movie to be the highest grossing film of all time. Take your mom, take the kids, take everybody, see it at least 3 times. If you are a fan, see it at least 3 times. And convince somebody else to see it 3 times. Go see this fucking movie. Let's get it, y'all. Thank you so much for watching my movie review. I appreciate all of you, my 50 viewers. Feel free to comment down below, as always. You know, feel free to share your thoughts. What were your best moments of the movie? What were the best not moments of the... You know what? Don't even do that because it's a spoiler-free movie review. Don't even comment down below. Don't spoil nothing. We can talk, but don't spoil nothing. So, thanks again for watching. And until the next time, guys, I will see you. Blah, 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 blah.